with everyone. I'm going to share on Twitter, and then I'm going to share on CloudHub and invite our CloudHub friends. And if you haven't checked it out, go to cloudhub.com/Susan Knowles. You can join the chat over there. Hey, Clara. Hey, Alan. Good to see everybody. I got to share with CloudHub. 1 second. All right. Alrighty. You'll notice that when you go to CloudHub, things have changed a little bit. The page has improved. There are, hey, Drama Free, hey, Marilyn. I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Judy. There are things on the page now that weren't there before. There's a header. There's the shows from previous days. Kind of looks like a lot like YouTube is set up right now on the channel. So please go check that out. Good morning to everybody. Hey, Paula. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Okay, I'm going to start reading in Psalm 91, and then we will go forward. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him I will trust. Surely he shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. Amen. Hey, Ellie Mae, good to see you. Stephanie Crow, good morning. Good morning. And again, hey, Bonnie, good morning. Hey, God's girl. Robin, how are you? It looks good in here. And Robin, you are now down as the moderator over there, so we'll see how that works. I'm not sure how that works. Good morning, sitting in my car outside my dentist's office listening to you. Well, hey, you know, that's better than getting your teeth drilled. Your wreaths are beautiful. You are so gifted. Thank you. I am believing God. Those wreaths are all available in my Etsy shop. So I'm under the Spirited Crafter, the Spirited Crafter. And if anybody wants to know about this and they can't find how to get to the Etsy shop, just DM me. I'll be glad to give you the link. I do these because I enjoy doing them so much. I really do. I have 3 things going: iPad, iPhone, and Mac. And I want to say a happy birthday to Morgan, Robin's daughter, who is today 16 years old. So congratulations. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy being 16. It only happens once in your life. So everybody join me in wishing Morgan happy birthday. Hey, Susu, good to see you. You're welcome, Robin. All right. Happy birthday, Morgan, Judy said. Everybody saying happy birthday. To be 16 again. I know, Clara. I can remember being 16. Thought I knew everything, too. Till I realized, gosh, I didn't know as much as I thought. Of course, it took a while for me to realize that. I think I was well into my 30s before then. Hey, Forever Patriot, good morning. How are you? Happy birthday to Morgan, Stephanie Crow said. That was a good year. I know. That was a really good year, being 16. Hey, Barbara, I barely remember 16, Judy said. I know, so long ago. I remember 16 because I had, at the time, glasses that I'd had since the 3rd grade of school, and I finally got contacts. Hey, Lee. John Swift, good morning. Thank you all. She's a sweetheart, Robin said. So that was a big year for me. Good morning from Florida. Angie says, I can't even say that name of the Florida city that you're in. Just can't do it. And if you're on CloudHub today, you can go ahead and share that if you'd like. There's a share button. If you're on your PC, there's a share button in the right-hand corner. Also, just to let you know, if you're on your app, you can also see the channel from the app. So it's all there. It's all there. All right. Okay. Had a terrible perm experience, Stephanie said. I know, Stephanie. My mom was a hairdresser. Hey, Sally, hairstylist. And I remember one time she gave me a perm. I forgot what grade it was. Oh my gosh. I looked like Curly Sue. It was so awful. I couldn't wait for it to relax in the hair. It was just bad. Good morning, Michael from Central Florida. So we've all had that perm experience, I guess. All right. So President Trump is supposed to go to Michigan today. The Michigan AG is like trying to flex her muscles. And she's saying if Trump fails to wear a mask, he's going to be asked not to return to any enclosed facility inside our state. Hey, Noel. Yeah, okay, whatever, sweetie. She made similar comments in an open letter to the president published on Wednesday. While my department will not act to prevent you from touring Ford's plant, that's so nice of you. I ask that while you are on tour, you respect the great efforts of the men and women at Ford and across this state by wearing a facial covering. She wrote, it's not just the policy of Ford by virtue of the governor's executive orders. It is currently the law of the state. Ooh, wow, gosh. I don't know. Maybe he should just cancel going to Michigan altogether. I know he won't do that, but I mean, it's like, come on. Come on. He's the president of the United States. Get a hard hat with a shield. Hey, Danielle. Yeah, I would, I don't know. Whatever. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What a name. Good morning. I like that. I'm great, Danielle. How are you? Okay, so there was a shooter this morning at the Naval Air Station in Corpus Christi, Texas. The person was neutralized, also means killed, rather quickly. Good morning, Cheryl Lynn. Gov Whitless says she holds our hand for more cash. Yeah, exactly. He will handle it, and she will wish he did not, Barbara said. So I didn't hear any more about the shooting. They're not really saying very much. What's their obsession with wearing a mask? Judy, it's called control. Because as you know, we're finding out from a bunch of doctors, and we've heard this over and over, and even Fauci in the very beginning said wearing a mask isn't going to protect you, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Wayne, it was, Texas is like, okay, boom, you're dead. But the mask wearing is not good for you. You're breathing your own carbon dioxide. President Trump should wear a mask. Why shouldn't he? Why should he, Annie? Why should he? Yep, the globalists are control freaks. That's right. They are. People aren't going to get within 6 feet of him anyway, for the most part. And it's 6 feet. Why 6 feet? Did you ever ask yourself why 6 feet? Hey, Eleni. Trying to impose Sharia law with a mask. Yeah, no kidding. Does anybody know why they say 6 feet and not 3 feet, not 4 feet, not 4.5? Does anybody have any ideas? Why 6 feet? Why not something else? Well, I hope he doesn't wear a mask. I wouldn't. He may, Kim. He may just to, shut her up. I don't know. But it's some do, some don't here, Barbara said. If you are unhealthy, like for example, no, could be, but no. If you're unhealthy or you're having a compromised immune system, or you're over a certain age and you want to wear a mask, perfectly fine. If you want to wear a mask, that's fine. You shouldn't force other people to. The mask isn't doing anything for you. The particles go right through the mask. He should wear a mask with recall Whitless Whitmer. Oh my gosh, Mr. Hatfish. That is great. That is so great. That's what they used to think the sneeze and cough went, Rue said. So according to J.D. Farag, Pastor Farag in Hawaii, he said that the reason he thinks it's 6 feet apart and not something else is because with artificial intelligence, if you're standing too close together, they have a very difficult time of identifying you because it gets, kind of confused about who you are, facial recognition and stuff like that. If you're 6 feet apart, then that helps them to identify you. So when you're in a police state, 6 feet apart's really good because then you're easily identifiable. Wearing Chinese masks seems counterproductive, Sally said. Yep. Our liquor store has a security guard, looks at you hard if you have a mask. Good. I'm sick of people shaming those of us who don't want to. After all, you're protected with the mask. No, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Yikes. I know, Ellie Mae. Isn't that a little scary when you think about it? What about the mask? I think you just heard it, Rue. I've heard that. Thanks for the reminder. Yep, Lee. There's no way to be 6 feet apart in the store yesterday. It was busy. Well, in New Mexico, not only do they want you to stand 6 feet apart, but now in New Mexico, they want you to stand 12 and 18 feet apart. Try doing that and going down an aisle in a store that probably isn't even 12 feet apart in there. These people are absolutely insane. And again, if you want to, people in California, where I'm at, you're not required to wear a mask. You're not even required to do social distancing now. But because their God, the governor, hasn't given them the okay to take off their mask, they are keeping their masks on for the most part. If you need to clear the aisle, cough, just start sneezing and people will run. Oh my God. So let's see, people forget they said mucous membranes are affected. Your eyes are mucous membranes. Yeah, I know. So we should all have the little slits like this, with the hijabs are like that, right? So if we start doing that, cover the face, hey, we should be all set. It's ridiculous. People in California, they're already having people over to their homes and everything else. So they're getting back to normal, not the new normal, but to normal. At first I wore safety glasses too, Sally said. The only thing that I have done, I haven't really done anything different with COVID-19 that I did with the flu or anything else. I wash my hands. If I touch something that I think a lot of other people have touched, then I wash my hands. I don't go around people who are coughing and sneezing. Things like that. Just common sense, everyday things. But to wear my big sunglasses, Barbara said, burqas are full body, hijabs are the head from what I thought. Yeah, burqas are the full thing. The hijabs are the head part. So, if you just use common sense, you're probably going to be okay. And they're finding out that that's what's happening with a lot of people. And again, if you're elderly, if you are have a compromised immune system, and you feel like you'd be safer off at home, then for God's sake, stay home. That would have been, I think, the proper thing to have done in the very beginning, not close down the entire country. In California, we're still doing curbside pickup at, let's say, Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Well, Hobby Lobby's not even open, but like Michael's. But you can go in Walmart all day long. In Illinois, we're finally going to start to open up at the end of the month. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do here. They keep getting pressure and they keep opening some places. It's funny. Some of the places that they're opening in the counties are close to San Francisco. That was really hardest hit. Southern California doesn't seem to be going as quickly, and Southern California wasn't as hard hit. So none of it makes sense. It never has. It never will make sense. That's just the way it is. None of this makes sense. I guess it was never meant to be. My Tulare County defied Governor Newsom's order to reopen yesterday. Now the city of Tulare sent Gruesome a butt-kiss letter saying they wanted to be excluded from that reopening because they want the funds. Yeah, I read Stephanie Kerr that Tulare wasn't going to be opening up. So anyway, Mike Smith said it's a joke. Who's to say the food preparers are not infected? That's hey, Cully, that's so true. If you go into restaurants now, that curbside pickup, a lot of these people are no longer wearing masks. They're no longer wearing gloves like they never did. One guy today was saying his grandma got pneumonia from not moving out of her room or bed so scared. See, that's the problem. That's right, Susan. It's never made sense, Kim said. Hobby Lobby opened in Danville, Kentucky yesterday. Oh my gosh, I would be there in quick second. I can't wait for Hobby Lobby to open. I'm going to be the first in line. It's like open, 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 like that old Mervyn's commercial. Good morning from Rainy, Montana. Yes, infected. That's the trouble. If you have elderly people that lay in the bed and that they never move, they're going to have massive problems, lung problems, blood clotting issues, on and on and on, that are going to be far worse on them, no doubt, than the flu, COVID-19, or anything else. Stores are now opening here. I want to go shopping with the kids, Robin said. it's just ridiculous to think that you're going to be able to stop moving, stop living, stop breathing. About 500 doctors now have joined together and sent a letter to President Trump saying, you've got to open the country. Hey, Nanette, good morning, everyone. I got a hair trim yesterday. Woohoo! Were you in Michigan, Nanette? They're asking President Trump, open up the country. This is worse on your health than COVID-19, where 98% of the people at least recover. 2.4 million people filed for unemployment last week. Yeah. You can't keep doing this. People are depressed. People are committing suicide. People are feeling that there's no hope. Oh, you're in Houston, Texas. I just hate that all these shopping places are filled with China's garbage, Clara said, as they have been in the past, Clara, right? And we didn't do anything about it then. We need to do something about it now. My sister works at a hospital. She got a false positive, Mike said. A lot of people have been given a false positive, Mike. You can thank the Democrats. Yep. Hairdressers are back and spas in Texas this week. Nails also. Yeah, see, we're not doing any of that. Nails are in like phase 3, which we don't even know what phase 3 is exactly and when it's going to happen. As I told you before, the churches here in California, about close to 3,000, have decided they're going to reopen on May 31st, which is the day of Pentecost, because they have written to Governor Newsom asking him to reopen the churches, or when is he going to reopen it? Hey, Rocky from Nebraska, good morning. And they've gotten no reply. So they are going to go ahead and they're just going to defy the orders. They're going to follow God's orders and not Newsom's orders. And they're going to open up the churches on May 31st. So good for them. I wish more pastors around the country would open up. I'm glad the lady in Trump's briefing spoke about what the virus is doing to people's mental health. Yes. Hey, Jules, good to see you. Jack Hibbs, yes. Jack Hibbs is, he's got about 10,000 people that come to his mega church. So there only be so many that are inside the sanctuary, but he's already told people they have everything set up in other places, other buildings. You can also be outside in your car. You can be outside of your car in the parking lot if you want. You can stand in the courtyard. They have it fixed in the courtyard where they have a little circle where a family of 6 can stand in the circle if they want to. So he's made it as good as he can. He's following the guidelines as well as he can, because as he knows, all eyes are going to be on his church. Number one, because he is on President Trump's evangelical team. And so everybody's going to be eyeballing him to find out if he's doing it right or wrong. Remember, 9/11 had several color codes. It meant nothing. They dropped it. Exactly, Rocky. Exactly. It meant absolutely nothing. Newsom stated that he wants to allow the California film industry to safely resume. How will they have all that kissing and punching at a distance of 6 feet, but still no church indoors? Ridiculous. Hey, Karen. Yeah, Stephanie. See, none of that makes sense. Newsom is doing what he always does, which is, number one, unions support Newsom. That's what got him elected. So, of course, the unions kept working the whole time. Construction, anything else that was union run, they kept going. But anybody else, except, the liquor stores he left open, Walmart, some, restaurants that would be pickup, the restaurants, just, you can only pick up, you can't eat in. I have heard that he is going to start trying to open up the restaurants now so you can eat inside. Let me tell you something. It's just exactly like what President Trump said. People want to get out and buy. They're not worried. They're not scared. They will go in the restaurants in droves. They will go everywhere in droves. Even those people who are walking around out there in my county with their masks on because the governor didn't tell them yet it was okay. So it's like if the governor today says, okay, you can take off your mask, they will feel 100% that they are protected because their God with the little g spoke and said it was okay. It's like you're not going to be any different yesterday than you were today in him making that in that statement. It's not no difference. People want to work. People want to work. They want to go out to restaurants. They want to go into the stores. They want to get back to normal. As I said, not the new normal, just normal. Okay, so couple of things. Now, I don't know if you guys, all of you who have the Apple phone, there is the iOS 13.5 update. People want to live life. Exactly, Clara. Can't live in a bubble. It's not going to happen. I'd be happy just to get a haircut. Chicago Pops. Yeah, I know what you mean. I got an update on my phone telling me that here's what's on the 13.5 update. Speeds up access to the passcode field on devices with Face ID when you are wearing a face mask, and introduces, listen to this, good morning, Shell Shocker, introduces the exposure notification API to support COVID-19 contact tracing apps from public health authorities. So there's going to be that the notification API that is going to allow you in the future to download a contact tracing app that the government can use to notify you and to trace you to find out about, hey, Judy, if you've been around somebody with COVID-19 and they tested positive. Surveillance in Texas by contact tracers, as reported by the Houston Chronicle. Texas health officials have awarded up to $295 million to a private technology company to quickly grow and manage a large fleet of contact tracers as the state braces for up to 2 years without a coronavirus vaccine. The 27-month contract signed late this week with MTX Group comes as more businesses begin to open and the number of new daily COVID-19 cases in much of Texas continues to grow. Republican Governor Greg Abbott has said new outbreaks may be inevitable as restrictions loosen and has vowed to bring up to at least 4,000 tracers by the end of the month to help contain them. That's what Linda Norman just posted. Totalitarian rule with app. Yep. Police state. Yes, Sharp. That should be illegal. I guess they use your contacts. We're not going to download that app. No, thank you. I will delay this download for as long as possible. Ellie Mae said, no, Julie said. They're going to have that for any phone. Doesn't matter what you have. Exactly. You would have to download the app first. I will download it. Annie said, good for you, Annie. So Annie, make sure that none of us are on your list of contacts because we don't want to be contacted by anyone. No vaccine. Wonder if they'll force it as an update. Sally said, well, they can't force you to get an app. So, unless they put something on your phone in another update that installs an app for you, then if you just don't take the app, you should be okay. Vaccines are poison. Sharp said, no mask unless I want to. Barbara said, let's all just bleach bit and hammer out our phones, just a ham radio. Guarantee you will not need to download anything. They'll still be able to trace you. Could be, Jules. Could be. Could be. Can the app be in the update? Well, that's what I was wondering, Judy. So far, I've heard, which doesn't mean anything because they do whatever, but I've heard that you have to have the app. I refuse to wear a mask. Me too, Sharp. Rocky from Nebraska said, in iOS is shut off GPS location unless needed for directions, and after turn off again. Yeah, turn off that GPS location, right, Susan? What all is in those updates? Yeah, you don't know. Your phone may not work without the updates. Yeah, you kind of have to get those updates because after a while, your phone is not going to work well when you don't put those updates in, and they know that too. So it's kind of like you're between a rock and a hard place. For now, just make sure that you don't download any apps. I don't know, if contact tracers are going to be calling your house, coming to your house or whatever. Yeah, the updates are mandatory eventually. Yeah, your phone is not going to work. Yes, I think the GPS off would work unless you use maps. Yeah, you have to turn off as much as you can. But again, there's no privacy anymore. How do you turn off the GPS? You have to, call Verizon if you need to, Alexis. But you can also, you can see going to general settings. You can go through a lot of that. I had to update my phone because my phone wasn't working right, so they get you one way or another. Yeah, yeah, they do. They really do. You're supposed to be able to opt out of the health app. Yes, that's what they're saying, Noelle. That's what they're saying. So we'll see, if that holds true or what we're talking about. So, all right. Wonder if new phones will have already installed that, Sally. That's a good question. My daughter from Washington got a call from her insurance company asking if anyone was sick. Crazy, Shell Shocker said. I would say, yeah, we're somebody here is sick of your phone call. The weenies down, control said, yeah, morning, how are you? I have all of my location and history turned off, Stephanie Crow said. I was watching, reading some comments. One guy said he was going to go back to a pager, that he's just had it. He's done with it. American workers, as Brian said a while ago, filed 2.4 million filed unemployment claims last week. Now, I do know of some employers, because they have said, publicly said it, they're saying that they're not making their employees return because they can make more money off of unemployment. You're supposed to turn them in. They're not supposed to get money. And that didn't just happen with coronavirus. That is the way it goes. You're not supposed to be able to collect unemployment when you've been offered a job. So if you have a job to go back to, or if you're offered a job, which you're supposed to be looking for one, you have to stop getting your unemployment. And I think those employers, while you think that you're doing them a favor, you're not doing the rest of us a favor, because it's our tax dollars that's going to pay the unemployment. My auto insurance company keeps wanting me to use their Good Driver app so they can track me. Chicago said, exactly, turn them in, Shell Shocker said. I'll start powering off my iPhone until I need it. Hopefully that works. I don't know. With that battery, who knows? Noelle, that's fine. Unemployment doesn't last forever. They're stupid, Noelle said. Well, they expect to come back, to their current jobs. Reference the Lord, he's in control, Nanette said. So they're hoping the job will still be there and they can just take unemployment for as long as it lasts and then go back. Many games on the phones will ask if you know anyone sick. Any app that asks me that, I uninstall it. Wow, Wanda. Some of my apps won't work because location is off, Stephanie said. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay. Now, Nancy and Chucky want the president to lower the flag to half staff when the United States reaches 100,000 people that have died from COVID-19. I would tell Nancy to go pound sand. I make $35.40 an hour unemployment. Not good for me, JJ said. Yeah, some people, if let's say you work in the fast food industry or something like that, they're probably getting more on unemployment. Pretty soon our phones will be able to take our temps and heart rate, etc. They already do, Shell Shocker. There's already an app for that. There's an app for everything, I mean, really, there is. Now, I want to talk about something. This is not the news, but did anybody see the press conference yesterday with Kayleigh, the White House press secretary? That woman is so good. She is so good at what she does. And I know why she's that good. She graduated from Harvard Law School, for one. But if you notice, and I noticed this because, as an attorney, when I was practicing, you've always got to be 2 steps ahead of everybody else. You've got to know in your mind what they're going to ask you and already have an answer for that. And I noticed, and I've noticed it from the very beginning, she has a notebook with tabs on it, on the pages. So whatever topic that comes up, she's already prepared. Strong Christian with her notebook. She's better than, yes, Kim, I was going to say, I loved Sarah Sanders, But let me just tell you, Kaylee is 100 times better. And that's not any knock against Sarah. It's just that Kaylee is that good. She has all the tabs marked. She has all the information in there. If she and she talks constantly to people about what the president said. What does this mean? What if we do this? Da, da, da. So she's always going and digging for information. You can tell that this woman doesn't sit around on her butt, that she's constantly going and digging and getting all the information. And so she's brilliant. She is brilliant. You're right, Alexis. And so because she went to Harvard Law School, because she knows about being prepared, she is absolutely 150,000% prepared. Give her a raise. I know. Take the money from Ocasio-Cortez and give it to Kaylee. She is good, well prepared. Yeah. Yes, new press secretary on her game. Yep. When I was in law school, it was called court, and you had to argue inside and out, Clara. You had to argue a case before a panel of 3 judges. And when you started arguing your case, they would interrupt you. So if you prepared as you can be, they interrupt you and throw a question at you. And the best thing for you is to already be prepared, to already know what the question they might ask you and already have an answer prepared. Hey, Renee, she's done that 1,000 times over. She is so good. And I only wish, yeah, Rocky said she is excellent. I only wish they had her from the very beginning. A lot of feed drops for me. Yeah, Alexis, you can always find it on YouTube and on Periscope. Go to the White House feed on Periscope. That's the best place to go because, one, you don't get the trolls. They cut off the comments, so you don't get the trolls talking while she's talking, and you don't have to worry about arguing with them or anything else. Good morning, Barbara Willis Ryan. Where you see lots of new update stuff. Yes. So, but my gosh, the more she talks, the more I am impressed with her. And even if she doesn't know the exact answer, she will stress the point that she wants to stress on that same topic. And I love the way that she points to. Diamond Silk's another good place to watch. Kim said that would have been great to have her from the beginning. Yes, she's a million times better than Sean Spicer. Sean Spicer was never that great. Sarah Sanders was much better than Sean Spicer. And Kaylee is 1,000 times better than any press secretary I've seen in maybe forever. I don't know. Kaylee doesn't put up with the media spinning. No, she doesn't. And she doesn't point like this. Let me show this. She doesn't put her finger like this, right? When she's pointing, she goes like this. It's like, kind of her fingers like this. That's how she points. It's like, okay, you. And I just love her. And I just love how she calls them out. She doesn't take their crap whatsoever. She's so good. Unbelievable. Okay, we are past the halfway point. If you would, please just reshare and we'll start again. Well, we won't start again at the same thing. We'll just keep going. We will just keep going. Okay, hold on 1 second. All right. I love the Shakespeare quote she said about Susan Rice. Oh, I know. I think thou dost protest too much. Susan Rice is probably like squirming. Oh, that little Harvard, you know what? Susan Rice. All right. Now, here's something, again, that we knew before coronavirus. It's so obvious. You don't need to be Dr. Fauci or Dr. Birx to know this. But before coronavirus, the Government Accountability Office found that as many as 4 in 10 nursing homes that were inspected were cited for infection control and prevention issues. In other words, unsanitary conditions. We knew this before coronavirus. One only has to go to a nursing home for a visit, and the odors that come out of there are out of this world, amazingly bad. I'm sorry. I don't care where you are. If you have a clean uh, building, and you can sanitize in so many different ways. Alexa says, yes, killed my mother. You don't have that type of smell. You have a way to control that. You have a way to control bed sores. You have a way to control a whole bunch of things. And that's why they were so hard hit. And they're going to be hard hit again, because unless it changes. I'm so glad it's coming out. I am too, Alexis. Tiffany Trump graduated law school. Yeah, she graduated, Thomas, was it Georgetown Law School? Very good law school. Thomas Kincaid. I went to a nursing home and smelled so clean and fresh. So maybe even, but some, but not all, many, but not all. Yes, it's Louise. The ones that I've been to, unfortunately, smelled horrible. And there's no need for that either. You know, you're living in California where it's sunshine most of the time. A lot of these poor people, though, they don't even get to go outside. And that, you know, they just don't do things right. They really, not everybody. But a lot of ones that I've been into, they obviously, if it smells that bad, you're not doing it right. Yes, they are always nasty and smelly, most of them. Yeah, they are. And there's no need for that to occur. There's a way to take care of that. Texas will be testing all nursing home residents and staff, Linda said. They need air purification systems installed in all facilities. Absolutely, Sally. It smells because the inmates are not hydrated. Yeah. And the bed sores, Alexis, and all that type of stuff. And probably the way they handle things. That's unhealthy to stay inside. It is, Danielle. Due to government regulations, most nursing homes are very understaffed. And during coronavirus, it was too. Hey, Gary Kemper, how are you? Those facilities are being exposed for the filth in them. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's too bad that it took to this amount of time before somebody did something about it. Bed sores killed my mom, Alexis said. I have air purification system, which is good. Facebook user, it just says Facebook user. Yeah, that's really horrible about your mom. My mother-in-law was in a nursing home, and the family could see that she wasn't really being that well taken care of. And it took a lot to get her out. They did not want to let her out. They wanted the family to leave her there, and they tried every excuse in the book to keep her there. And honestly, I went in, told them she's leaving, told them what the plan was going to be, and told them they had no right to keep her and they had to let her out. She was better cared for at home after that than she ever was in the nursing home. I understand about nursing homes, but the one my mother was in, I never saw or smelled anything that was bad. It was a very good home. Thomas Kincaid, I'm sure that's absolutely true. Good for you, Susan, Nanette said. They need ionizing system that sanitizes through the HVAC system. Restaurants use it. Yes, Shell Shocker. They're going to have to do stuff like that. They cannot continue in the same way that they are and have been, because crazy people like Cuomo, Newsom, and others, sending COVID-19 patients back to nursing homes. I don't know if you remember this, but in the very beginning, when Washington State had the outbreak, it was the first outbreak in the nursing home in Washington State. And I said to you then that they should take those people out of there. They should clean that place before putting them back in. And I guess I wasn't too far off from the truth. To satisfy the state, they have one licensed person for several facilities. The rest are low qualified. My dad, mother-in-law, and husband in 3 separate facilities. I was on top of things at all times. Now I don't have eyes on them, and it's causing me so much anxiety. I know, Stephanie Crow. It's not good. That should be murder charges on Cuckoo Cuomo. Shell Shocker, that is despicable. Despicable. And he acts like, well, old people are going to die, so they just died. Well, they wouldn't have died if you hadn't sent them back with a body bag during their admission process. You knew they were going to die. You sent them with a body bag, for God's sakes. And to sit there and act like everything's okay. PM me on Facebook for info. Alexa said, Alexa sued and won. Yeah. Well, you have to, sometimes do stuff like that, because if you're not taking care of your loved ones, nobody else is. You have to be the advocate for your loved ones at every place. Same at the hospital when my father-in-law went in the hospital. It was horrible what they did to him, like doping him up on morphine. And then when he was out of his mind on morphine, they tried to say, well, I'm sure he was like that before. I'm like, oh no, he wasn't. And the minute, and I told them, get him off of morphine right now. And the minute they got him off of morphine, he stopped having hallucinations. Imagine that. Good for you, Susan. I had to fight to bring my husband home after a broken hip. 10 days in that place. He lost 10 pounds and had pneumonia, Wanda said. Wow. Why didn't Cuomo make use of hospital ship instead of sending infected into the nursing homes? Yeah, well, Stephanie, probably my guess would be pride. He didn't want to do that because that would mean that he wasn't doing a good job the way he wanted it done. That'd be my guess. That's just my opinion. Also, Michael Cohen. I had a friend who was a CNA. She loved her patients. They are few and far in between. Yes, they are, Shell Shocker. They are. And you need somebody to be an advocate for you. Michael Cohen is going to be allowed to complete his prison sentence at home because of COVID-19. But bless us who are, yes, Shell Shocker. I have conservatorship over my dad and spouse. They tried giving my dad, who has COPS, morphine. I said, no way. Yeah. Morphine, if you're allergic to morphine, my father-in-law was hallucinating. He saw horses out running down the freeway. He had little bird nests on his stomach, and he was trying to help the little birds. I mean, he saw things that, it was like he was on an acid trip, and it was morphine. Turns out he had an allergic reaction to morphine and shouldn't have been taking it in the first place. And had I not said anything, they would have kept him on that morphine because other family members had said, maybe we should take him off morphine. They're like, oh no, that shouldn't be done. And I said, take him off of morphine right now. And I had the nurse say to me, who are you? Like, who do you think you are? Who are you? And I said, I am his daughter-in-law and you're taking him off of morphine. And they took him off immediately. And they never said after he got better, gosh, I guess you were right and we were wrong. It was just like nothing ever happened. Sorry, I had to sign for my husband's new gun that was delivered. If you are the cause of an accident and someone other than you dies, you could be charged with involuntary manslaughter. Why are we not charging Cuomo with involuntary manslaughter? Not an attorney, but it happened when my cousin died in an accident by the other driver. A little bit different situation, Barbara, unfortunately there. Yet morphine made me feel like an alien was coming out of my stomach. Very allergic. Wow, Shell Shocker. Let's see. I was brutal to the nursing home when my mom was there. And it's unfortunate that you had to be, because they don't make it easy for you. They just want you to put a body there, and I don't mean a dead body, just a body there that they can collect money from, and you go away. Kim said, my arm swelled up big time with morphine. I asked a nurse. She said, it's okay. The next nurse said, no. Yeah. And again, not all nursing homes are bad. I'm sure there are great ones. The ones that I've seen and the people that have talked to me about them, mostly bad experience. And it's unfortunate. It should not be that way. And I don't know if you heard the Trump administration, or not administration, but the Trump campaign, I guess, is coming out with a new show called The Right View, which is going to be like The View, only it's going to be right and correct and conservative and not crazy. One nurse said, we don't question the doctor. Yeah, I know, Judy, because the doctor is God with the little G. That's right, Susan. It seems that nursing home residents that have an advocate or family involvement receive more attention and better care than those who do not. Linda Norman is absolutely true. Absolutely true. It's a difference between night and day. Now, Kamala Harris not wanting to be outdone during the coronavirus issue and hopefully wanting to be vice president candidate for Joe Biden. She's introduced a bill rejecting all forms of anti-Asian sentiment as related to COVID-19, calling it the Chinese virus, Wuhan virus, and Kung flu are inappropriate terms to refer to the virus that originated from China. Give me a break, Kamala. Go back someplace and sit down. Susan, we went through the same thing when my mother had hip surgery and she went to rehab. They did the same thing. She reacted the same way. I demanded them to take off the morphine. The nurse said, well, older people act like that. I said, BS, take her off of it now. They did. Barbara got the same thing. Oh, he's elderly and I'm sure he acted like that before. I'm like, no. That's not what my father-in-law acted like. I questioned a vet one time. He bowed up at me. I bowed up back to him. He backed down. Yeah, you listen, doctors are not gods. That's why when people go, oh, Fauci, he's this big, he understands and he can tell. No, Fauci is not God. Doctors can be wrong. You need to question things. You need to ask questions. My mom was in a good nursing home, still had to watch and cost money. Yep, Michael Brady, exactly. First Pentecostal church in Holly Springs, Mississippi was ablaze yesterday. Yeah. Randy is talking about a church in Mississippi, Pentecostal church, was set on fire. They think it was arson. There was spray paint in front of the church where the words, bet you will comply now, hypocrites, because they were trying to, defy the Mississippi there and open back up. Kamala's nervous that Whitmer is going to beat her out for VP. I know, Noel. Can you imagine? Fauci is so wishy-washy. Well, that's because Fauci is a researcher. He's not really, like a doctor that's worked at a hospital. After my dad's death, I've learned that the doctor is not always right. Be their advocate. Yes, Ellie Mae, absolutely. You have to be. You have to watch what's going on as if your life depended upon it, and more importantly, as if their life depended upon it. All right. We are back to the reading of the Bible. While we can still read the Bible in this country, after all these doctors aren't paying us, we are paying them for their services. Yes, Kim, just like Congress and everything else that we should remember that. All right, we are in Revelation, and I'm going to start, I believe, chapter 5. So we'll start there. So join me, if you will, Revelation chapter 5. And I saw in the right hand of him who sat on the throne a scroll written inside, and on the back sealed with 7 seals. Then I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the scroll and to loose its seals? And no one in heaven or on the earth or under the earth was able to open the scroll or to look at it. So I wept much, because no one was found worthy to open and read the scroll or to look at it. But one of the elders said to me, do not weep. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the scroll and to loose its 7 seals. And I looked, and behold, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 living creatures, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as though it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent out into all the earth. Then he came and took the scroll out of the right hand of him who sat on the throne. Worthy is the Lamb, verse 8. Now when he had taken the scroll, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, each having a harp and a golden bowls full of incense, which are the prayers of the saints. And they sang a new song, saying, you are worthy to take the scroll and to open its seals, for you were slain, and you have redeemed us to God by your blood, out of every tribe and tongue and people and nation, and have made us kings and priests to our God, and we shall reign on the earth. Then I looked, and I heard the voice of many angels around the throne, the living creatures and the elders, and the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000, and thousands of thousands, saying with a loud voice, worthy is the Lamb who was slain, to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing. And every creature which is in heaven and on the earth and under the earth, and such as are in the sea, and all that are in them, I heard saying, blessing and honor and glory and power be to him who sits on the throne, and to the Lamb forever and ever. Then the 4 living creatures said, Amen. And the 24 elders fell down and worshipped him who lives forever and ever. First seal, the conqueror, chapter 6. Now I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard one of the 4 living creatures saying with a voice like thunder, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a white horse. He who sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went out conquering and to conquer. Second seal, conflict on earth. Verse 3. When he opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature saying, "Come and see." Another horse, fiery red, went out, and it was granted to the one who sat on it to take peace from the earth, and that people should kill one another. And there was given to him a great sword. Third seal, scarcity on earth. Verse 5. When he opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come and see." So I looked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four living creatures saying, "A quart of wheat for a denarius, and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, and do not harm the oil and the wine." Fourth seal, widespread death on earth. Verse 7. When he opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature saying, "Come and see." So I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and the name of him who sat on it was Death, and Hades followed with him. And power was given to them over a fourth of the earth to kill with sword, with hunger, with death, and by the beasts of the earth. Fifth seal, the cry of the martyrs. Verse 9. When he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, "How long, O Lord, holy and true, until you judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth?" Then a white robe was given to each of them, and it was said to them that they should rest a little while longer, until both the number of their fellow servants and their brethren, who would be killed as they were, was completed. Sixth seal, cosmic disturbances, verse 12. I looked when he opened the sixth seal, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became like blood. And the stars of heaven fell to the earth as a fig tree drops its late figs when it is shaken by a mighty wind. Then the sky receded as a scroll when it is rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved out of its place. And the kings of the earth, the great men, the rich men, the commanders, the mighty men, every slave and every free man, hid themselves in the caves and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, "Fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath has come, and who is able to stand?" The sealed of Israel, chapter 7. After these things I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, on the sea, or on any tree. Then I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was granted to harm the earth and the sea, saying, "Do not harm the earth, the sea, or the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God on their foreheads." And I heard the number of those who were sealed. 140,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel were sealed. Of the tribes of Judah, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribes of Reuben, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Gad, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Asher, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Naphtali, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Manasseh, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Simeon, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Levi, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Issachar, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Zebulun, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Joseph, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Benjamin, 12,000 were sealed. A multitude from the great tribulation, verse 9. After these things I looked, and behold, a great multitude, which no one could number, of all nations, tribes, peoples, and tongues, standing before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, with palm branches in their hands, and crying out with a loud voice, saying, "Salvation belongs to our God, who sits on the throne, and to the Lamb." All the angels stood around the throne, and the elders and the 4 living creatures, and fell on their faces before the throne and worshiped God, saying, "Amen. Blessing and glory and wisdom, thanksgiving and honor and power and might be to our God forever and ever. Amen." Then one of the elders answered, saying to me, "Who are these arrayed in white robes, and where did they come from?" And I said to him, "Sir, you know." So he said to me, "These are the ones who come out of the great tribulation, and washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore they are before the throne of God, and serve him day and night and in his temple. And he who sits on the throne will dwell among them. They shall neither hunger any more, nor thirst any more. The sun shall not strike them, nor any heat. For the Lamb who is in the midst of the throne shall shepherd them and lead them to living fountains of water. And God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. Whew. Okay, I think I'm going to probably stop there, and we pick up at chapter 8. I just love reading Revelation. I know a lot of people are scared of it, but as we know that Bonnie said, I'm allergic to something in NyQuil. I hallucinated on it. Oh my gosh, Bonnie Hoover. Good to see you. Now I know you're laughing too. But it's just wonderful to hear it. And it is such a blessing to read Revelation, to know that what's going to happen, to all of us, to what's going to happen during the time of Jacob's trouble, during the tribulation, that people from the 12 tribes of Israel, 12,000 each, are going to be saved. Blessing to those who read Revelation. Exactly, Rue. And it's just great to read it in the time that we have. And we know that with all that is going on around us, God's in control. God knows exactly what's going to happen, exactly what he wants to do, exactly everybody's part in it. President Trump's, the vice president, us, Congress, everybody has a role. Our hope for the future. Exactly, Sally. And to think that one day we will be in the presence of God, and we will be among those who fall on our faces and worship before the living God. How amazing is that going to be? Hey, Loretta Gorman. Sorry I'm late. My computer crashed, but I made it for the Bible reading. Yay! The important part, Loretta. But I think it's just going to be amazing. And, it's like Pastor Jack Hibbs was on last night. They had a whole 2 hours. If you missed that, go to jackhibbs.com or just Jack Hibbs on YouTube and watch the whole thing. It was a 2-hour conversation about the Antichrist. Yes, no social distancing in heaven. That's true. And one of the things that Pastor Jack said during that was, there's no need for Christians to panic ever. You shouldn't be panicked. You should be level-headed. You know where you're going. You know that God is in control. No matter what is dished out at you, there's no need to panic. And I think that's exactly, have faith, Sally said. Such great words for him to say, because it's absolutely true. There's no need to panic. Do not fear, says the Lord. Exactly, Kim. Doxy Lemons is in NyQuil. I can't even say what that is, Rocky. Maybe you can tell Bonnie back over on Cloud Hub that. Maybe she'll know. Yeah, I'm allergic to sulfate. I guess that's what it is in certain drugs, like Dimetap or whatever. I can't take stuff like that. It makes you very depressed. God. But anyway, I think it's just so great to be reminded, and that's why it's so good to read Revelation. A lot of churches will not read Revelation, which is very sad. And that's why those churches I don't go to, those churches, sulfur, thank you. Some churches won't even talk about the Holy Spirit. If you're in a church that won't talk about the Holy Spirit and acknowledge the Holy Spirit, you might be in the wrong church. Me too, Susan. Lots of antibiotics are sulfa-based. Yeah, I don't take antibiotics at all, Shell Shocker. I can't even remember the last time that I took an antibiotic. I mean, it was probably 40 years ago, I'm guessing. I try everything I can do not to take an antibiotic. They are, depending on what your case is, taking them like aspirin, for anything and everything, it's not good for you. It's not healthy. But I'm not a doctor, so, and I don't even pretend to be one on Periscope. So anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. I was thinking about taking tomorrow off because it's kind of the beginning of Memorial Day, but I'll be here tomorrow. But Monday I am taking off because it is Memorial Day. Keep your immune system supported. Yes. Do everything you can. The sunshine, vitamin D, vitamin C, kombucha for the great gut health. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. And God bless you, Susan. Thank you so much, Judy. God bless everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody, please share this if you will. And take care. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day. Thank you, Susan. Great scope reading. Thank you. All right, everybody. God bless you. Take care. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow.